Welcome to Two Gents, where two seasoned gents take on the hard truths of life, success, and responsibility. In a world where the rules don't bend for us, these gents believe in doing the work, owning the struggle, and inspiring others to take action. So, pull up a chair.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Two Gents Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ron Spikes. We're trying to get everybody else in. We had some technical difficulties, and I don't know where they came from, how they produced themselves or whatever. But I got a lot of stuff that I need to put out, and I'm trying to do it in the background. I'm trying to get Pastor Riggins to come in. If I can get him to come in, I'll be able to do everything I need to do in the background to try to get this going. I apologize in advance. We're running late. As I said, we're doing some things. I'm trying to get everybody back online, and it's not working. So if you're out there, please give me a minute. I'm trying to get this on. I'm trying to see what all I have to do to get this on. We got some more stuff going on in the background I got to be able to take care of, and I just can't do it all. So anyway, the show's today about should she have challenged the election results. It's up there. Let me just get Pastor Riggins in, and we'll use this one that we got, and we'll go forward with that. I'm typing at the same time. Please use this link. I'm trying to type it in the background. And I got to get the YouTube link up. So I sent that one out. Maybe Pastor Riggins and Byron Glass can come in, and we can go ahead and try to get what we saved of this show and go ahead and get it on the board and let it roll. I see we live on Instagram. I'm not for sure about YouTube because I got to check it, but hopefully they come into the show soon and we can go with this. I apologize in advance. I'm doing everything that I can to make this happen. We had technical difficulties right off the back, and we had everything set up. Me and Pastor Riggins was sitting in the studio, and it just didn't happen. So we're trying again. I'm going here, and please just bear with us. You know, I'm like a one-armed bandit here. So I know that we're live now because I seen everything go live. I'm looking at myself on Instagram at least. I don't have all these people working for me. I'm the only person that's working here in the background. So y'all gonna have to apologize, and we're live right now. Yeah, we're live right now. So I'm trying to get this thing to go live. I got I'm caught in between. So please just bear with me. Just bear with me. As you can see, I got my little helper, but he getting ready to go because I'm trying to do some stuff right now. So just bear with me, please. I had some difficulties going on. So yeah, I know. I need you to bye. Thank you. I'm trying to get this stuff set up, so I am live somehow. I don't know how. I'm gonna leave everybody else to come in. I'm live right now. I am live. I'm gonna get the other part of it set up. I got to get the link out. And Pastor Riggins hopefully he's on his way in, and we'll go from there. I got to get the link out to YouTube so everybody can see it. So just give me a minute. So y'all just bear with me. I just need a little bit of help to get the YouTube link out to everybody that's out there. So just give me a minute. And Pastor, I got to explain to Pastor. You know, it's just one of those things. We can't control this. So I can get this thing up live on YouTube. We up live on Instagram. I can see myself out there. And I know I got my head down. So just bear with me. I'll get the YouTube link out in just 1 second. Hold on just a minute. I can't if I click off, I don't know when Pastor Riggins come in. So as soon as he comes in, I'll be able to go ahead and do this. I can connect. I can give a YouTube link. I have to click off of where I'm at right now, and go from there. Oh man, let me see. Let me try this again. Hold on, just 1 second. I gotta send a link out. Hold on. Okay, let me try to send this link out again. It's taking me away from the screen. So if you still see me, if we can't get this, I'm gonna cancel it. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna cancel it. If I can't get it up and running, I'm gonna cancel it. So don't worry about it. I done had too many problems. I've been working around this too much. I can cancel the whole show and delete it. I just wanted to get this going because today was so much information going on today with everything that's going on. It was a lot of stuff out there that I want to cover. But it looked like we're running into technical difficulties again. So let me see if I can get this up. And I'm going to try to send them a link again. If it don't work, don't worry about it. We'll go from there. Because sometimes that's all you can do is do your best. And after you did that, it ain't nothing else you can do. As that song says, don't worry, be happy. I guess that's where I'm at right now. Don't worry, be happy. You tried it 3 or 4 times. You finally got it up, and now you can't get anybody to come into it. So that's the way it works. And I'm trying this one last time. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I got to get the other link up. I know that it's coming. Let me try this while I'm talking to you guys. I'm going to try to get, I know what I lost. I'm going to have to try to go here, and try to get this link because they want both of them. So let me try to get both of these up, and then we'll be able to hopefully get them on. It doesn't have me. No, I just seen it when I clicked off of it. I saw it. But let me see if I can get that to them because that's the first thing that they wanted. Or else they wouldn't have came. So here we go. Once I get this out, I'll be good. I heard somebody click in. So let me get this YouTube link out to them and then I'll be good. I can't get back over there. Okay, we're going to send it to them and then I'll get everybody else on. I think I got one of them on. I'm just going to click back over. All right. Pastor Riggins, how you doing? I'm in the background trying to do some stuff. I'm going to get to YouTube. I just sent out the YouTube link to you and Byron. I got to send it out to some more people. But man, this has been a software disaster. And you know I hate that because I worked so much on it to get the show going. And then we get on here and then we start having problems. So Pastor, just talk for a little bit.
Where's the YouTube link at that you sent to me?
I just sent it to you in that last email I sent it to you on.
And all it just says the StreamYard.
2 links on it. The top one is the one to get into the show, and the other one is the YouTube link.
I haven't got it yet. I just got the one you just sent me with the StreamYard by itself.
Okay, just give me a second, and we're gonna keep doing because we live right now.
Yes,
I can see us on Instagram, but I don't see you. Look at you. You changed up on me since I last seen you.
Yeah, I got 3 or 4 of them in there, man.
Oh man, look at you. Let me go ahead and get this stuff together so we can pass it coming up in the world over there.
Oh yeah, I got try to look professional, man.
Look at you. You coming with.
That's my civil rights background. I got 2
I'm coming up. I'm trying to get all this email done at the same time. I was apologizing when you came on.
Yes, sir.
Whew. This thing is. Whew. This ain't like Blog Talk. You make a mistake, you can just instantly do it. I got to have everything, YouTube link and everything
I
going.
know because at the church we use StreamYard for Facebook Live, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I know. But y'all do a good job over there. I watch you. Y'all do a good job.
Hope you come out to the banquet we're gonna have. I'm gonna see information about that.
Okay, just go ahead and send me. Why don't you talk about it while I get this together?
Oh, okay. Let me say something. This is
Go ahead.
This is, of course, this show is community related. So, what I've been doing since 2015 is, as a local pastor in town, I try to honor other pastors. October is Clergy Appreciation Month, and also it happens to be my birthday month. And so, I've tried to do for other pastors what I would like to be done for me over the last 10 years, off and on. The pandemic kind of stifled this for a few years, but we have what you call Excellence in Pastoral Ministry Awards Banquet. Similar to like if you have the Oscars or the Grammys or the Emmys, where you honor people who are singers or actors. We try to honor those. The Bible says those that serve among you a word of double honor. And across the city of Houston, the greater Houston area, I've tried to honor anywhere from 4 to 5, maybe 7 pastors at a banquet, which we have. And this year we're glad to be doing it with the church where I'm pastoring now, United Covenant Hope, Church of God. It's on October 11th at 6:00 p.m. at 6555 Mesa Drive. What it is we actually have a banquet in which we have salmon or some we have salmon this year and pork steak. We have different sides to go with it. We have a professional singing artist, gospel singing artist going to be there, praise dancers. The actual guys who we're honoring will be some bishops, also some other pastors, emerging leaders in the city, trailblazers in the city. And along with that, they get to speak and talk to us about what it means to be in ministry. It's just a good time for everyone to enjoy and fellowship. It's at 6:00 p.m. If you're interested in it and you know how to contact myself, you can do it first via Facebook or at Aquila Fernell Riggins. You can find me there.
Pastor.
Sir?
You're going to have to spell that.
Aquila Fernel, Aquila Fernell. That's why I go by AF because of that reason. And Riggins, R-I-G-G-I-N-S. And I can connect you to get tickets. The tickets are $30. We've been to banquets with tickets of $65. Some tickets are even more than that. We started out doing $20 about 10 years ago. We've only made it to $30 so far. So it covers the food, it covers the entertainment and a good time. But you're welcome to come out. And I'm trying to get Ron to come out there and check us out on October 11th at 6:00 p.m.
You know, I don't have no problem with that, Pastor. I'll come out and support. I have a problem with this software, so I sent Byron Glass the link. I sent the YouTube link. Have you got it yet, Pastor?
Yeah, I think I got it now.
Yeah, I sent it through the text messages and
email also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it now. Here's the YouTube. I got it now.
So I'm just trying to send most of the people I know through the YouTube and email. So
yes, sir.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you very much. Well, hey, maybe we'll get the show on the road.
Yeah, we might as well. I hope BG come in because I had a presentation, but I can bring it up as we get through talking. But Pastor, there's so much going on. Let's start off. Let's get away from this. Let's get away from what we had going at first.
Yes, sir.
And let's kind of discuss what's going on today in the Congress, because
yes, sir,
that's key. And it kind of shows me that what it shows me is that maybe if they hold on to what they promising to their constituents, maybe the Democratic Party can save themselves, because this is the biggest challenge they never made toward Trump in their outcomes. So I'm just saying it's one of those things that we just got to go with. And again, if you just joining the show, we're doing everything that we could. We kicking down. We driving go-karts around the track. We're doing everything that we can.
On the night I decided to upgrade and try to look professional.
Yeah. Look at Pastor. Y'all take on Pastor's new look. He'll change it over every week. Yeah. That's sharp out there, Pastor.
Yes, sir.
But anyway, the things that's going on today in the world, let me just say this, Pastor. We got people out there listening now. My name is not Roland Martin. I don't have 15 people behind my scene. When you look here, I'm the scene. And I try to get Pastor on and everybody on as soon as I possibly can. And sometimes that's the hardest thing in the world to do. Because when you get everything planned up and you go into it, you can have internet problems or anything like that. And I'm doing the best I can, Pastor. That's all I can do. But we're ready. Go.
Yes, sir. Okay, so tonight, before we talk about the actual topic that we scheduled to talk about, there's just been a vote in the Senate and the budget didn't pass. Basically, in a short statement, the Republicans tried to strong arm. Just 1 minute there. 1 minute there, Ron.
Yeah, and what happened was that it was something that passed in the Senate. Earlier today, also Haywood Jeffries and Schumer met with President Trump, and when he met with President Trump, they basically told him what they needed in order to help them to keep the government open, and they wasn't able to keep the government open. So they came out, they let the Democrats go first, and then they tried to put the blame on the Democrats. But you can't put the blame on the Democrats because y'all got the executive branch, y'all got the Senate, y'all got the House. You know, it doesn't matter how this falls out. If the Democrats just hold together, this thing it's gonna only fall on the Republicans.
Yes.
So Pastor, I know you got started and you got interrupted.
Right. So here's what happened. Yeah. So here's the deal. The Republicans try to strong arm us by saying we're going to pass this budget, but in this budget we're going to take away Medicaid or keep it reduced. We're going to take away health care for a lot of citizens, and we're going to ram this budget down your throat. And the Democrats say, oh, no. We're not going to go with this. And by them not going with the budget and enough of people coming across over on the sides of the Democrat, the budget did not go through. And so the government's going to shut down. Now, what Trump and them are promising, if the government shut down, they're going to fire or lay off government workers and not let them come back again. Also, they're threatening to do away with some of the welfare and child programs and all this stuff. We don't know. But the Democrats have not voted so far.
Yeah, and but I will say this, and Sean, if you're out there, if you're listening in, I will say this. I was shocked.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy stuck to his guns. He kind of shocked me by sticking to his guns, and I'm gonna give him his credit when it's due. Just like he stood up in front of the White House and he stuck to his guns. I got to give him his credit when it's due. And Pastor, we always talk about him, but him and stood up in front. They stood up there and they did what they were supposed to do. So, Pastor, with that, I want to kind of set this up. I'm gonna see if I can do it. So, if you want to go ahead and talk for a little bit, I'm gonna set something up.
So in light of this, what our original show was about was should have Kamala Harris decided to fight back and not concede, but challenge the election. And everything that she said that would happen, that Trump would do, and even more that you can even imagine has happened.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even get into like today, the speech he gave, it's unreal. The things he did at the UN when he went there, this stuff is unimaginable. So we're stuck with what we have right now because of what happened in the election. But should she have challenged that election? My opinion is yes. What I believe happened is without the full backing of Biden, she wasn't able to do so. And this is why she did not challenge the election. And that's why her and Biden have split ways, so to speak now. Ron, what you have for us?
I'll tell you, Pastor, you're absolutely right. One of the things that I've been discussing, and it's a couple of guys out there. I got a presentation tonight, and the guys put together a thing on why she should have challenged, why they're still working on something to challenge the election. And I'm trying to get it up to the stage right here. Election Alliance and unveiling the 24 election integrity.
Integrity. Yes,
you might be able to get it better than I can.
Election Truth Alliance unveiling 2024 election integrity.
Absolutely. And it's an introduction. We're going to go through this kind of fast because I think the other part that we discussed is a little bit more important than what we talk. The whole thing behind the election process was that the public distrust in the elections growing, setting the stage for the 24 election concerns, public distrust in the elections, growing concerns about the election integrity. I can't say that word.
Integrity.
Necessity, rigorous analysis, and transport methodology. I'm done. Okay, Pastor. Can you see it? You please read that because I'm
wait, which one you on? The second or third one?
First one.
First one. Growing concerns about election integrity, necessitate rigorous analysis and transparent methodologies to restore public confidence. So even how they conduct the elections, even how elections were carried out, like in your local precincts, how it was carried out far as counting the votes. All that stuff was questioned because Trump kept saying the 2020 elections were stolen. So they set up for 2024 to be a place where we don't know what's true and what's not true, what could be done and not be done. And this how they was able to shave a lot of votes out of the system.
Yeah, because there's a lot of mail-in votes and different things that wasn't taken into account. They just disqualified votes, and so it may have changed the way the election results came out, and that's one of the things that the guys point out in a little bit later.
Matter of fact, overall, less votes were counted. I mean, not say less people voted. Listen, pay attention. Less votes were counted in 2024 than 2020, and 2020 was a pandemic. Let me say it again. Less votes were counted in 2024 than 2020. When you look at that, that's the first red flag. That means a lot of folks were disqualified. And I guarantee you they were disqualified 2-1 against Kamala Harris. At least 2-1, maybe 3-1.
Yeah, and the ETA emerged to the address of the red flags in the election integrity. They're gonna keep using this word because that
integrity, yes. Integrity is election safe? Is it soundproof? Integrity means is the election fair? Is the election the truth? That's what integrity is about.
Yeah. Employing a multidisciplinary approach for transparent and secure election. If you don't have transparent elections, it's no use in even voting nobody in. That's what Trump is trying to do now. He's just trying to let the election process its way through, and we need to have more transparency in the election. Mission statement: ensuring fair elections. ETA's goal is to apply statistical methods similar to fraud detection. You need to be able to detect whether it's fraud. You need to run the analysis on it. But here's the thing, Pastor. We don't have that much time when there's so much stuff when there's so much stuff going on, when everything is out there. We don't have that much time. And I'm gonna bring to a stage an image file that we're supposed to go to tonight, and I just haven't been able to pull it up. But it shows, Pastor, how it gives you a comparison. And I can't, wouldn't you know it? Oh, here it is. I'm gonna bring it to the stage. This is one of those image files. It's called a heat sink map. I was hoping that Dave was supposed to be scheduled. But I guess with all the confusion that's out there, it didn't come on. Let me take off this number because it'll show you some difference. In a regular election, you see this circle right here? This is a regular election cycle. That means that 80 to 85% of the vote, and they was able to get the vote. Even though Donald Trump won this thing in California, it just shows you that the circle was complete. And this is just an example. I see you frowning up. I wouldn't talk about Pastor. I wasn't talking about Donald Trump winning, but just in this county right here, California County Shasta 2024 election, He won.
Actually, wasn't frowning. I was squinting because I'm getting older and need glasses.
Yeah, me too. I got glasses on and I can't see. But here, if you look to your right, it shows you what would happen if the election was kind of off, or it gives you models of where it was off. If you look here, it's jumping down to 25% at the bottom where the red represents where the heat is, and then it goes off. You should have a complete circle like this when you run an election. So it shows that it's a concentrated election, and where everybody was between I want to say 55 to 65% of the election voters were in a complete circle. All of this over here is showing you how off it can be. And if the heat signature runs like that first Russia in 2011, and I think the next one's 2012, you could tell there's some cheating going on because it's so much distinction in between. It's a heat map at the top. It starts a heat map at the top, and then it goes down to 25%. Somewhere in between there, somebody's cheating in the election process. And this was 2011. If you look at the model tilt, it shows you which is the middle one. It's a heat signature at the bottom. It's a heat signature in the middle, almost down at the 25%. All those other ones in between are variants of what could have happened where there's a possibility of cheating going on. The model, the last one shows a fair model. If you look at it, even in Uganda, well, we know in Africa they're gonna do whatever they want to, but in Uganda in 2011 and 2012, look at how it's scattered all around. But this is the way it should look. This heat signature that's right here, it gives you a definition. It can kind of put you in the ballpark of what's right and what's wrong. So they can take the variables and see where the election process, so they can analyze it and see where it was wrong. And that's the reason why Pastor Riggins was saying that it's a possibility that Kamala could have won the election. But there was so many variables out there that they took out that they eliminated votes in some instances. Some people didn't allow the vote. It wasn't a real clean vote, in other words.
No, it wasn't a clean count of the vote.
Yeah, clean count of the vote.
People stood in long lines to vote. And when you have someone on your side who's making spaceships, space cars, genius, who's dealing a lot with technology, dealing a lot with computers and all this other stuff, who knows?
You're absolutely right, Pastor. Nobody
knows what Elon Musk did. Who knows what he did?
And this is another example. This is PA heat map signature. This is the 24 election results. You see how messed up that is?
Yes,
it's a lot of discrepancy in the middle area, and it has like two different heat areas. That means there's some discrepancy in the vote that was being taken at that time. And if I can find that video, I want the guy to kind of explain it to you what's happening here. And even in 2011, 2012, if you're looking at the elections over here on this side, see the comparison when it was wrong and when it was right? The heat signature at the top means that red area is 60% to 80%. Then it drops down to up under 10%. And it's some irregularities going on in this heat signature here. So now
for the viewers, this is not the sun or the moon.
No, it's not.
See,
it's not on the
down in the weeds a little bit, Ron. So let me explain to him.
Yeah. Let me go over.
This is the science behind what we believe. We believe that somehow in many of those counties where Democratic leaders won on local and state levels and Kamala Harris lost, that there's a discrepancy in the vote. This is how the analysis of the vote count comes out in a graph or in a scientific manner to show you. It's supposed to be a round circle, like the sun over there at the bottom corner. But look how it's a long hot dog over there. That tells you that something was going wrong. But see, without not enough people understanding this stuff, and once the vote is declared and she concedes and don't challenge, it's all water under the bridge. Just like in 2000 when Al Gore and George against George W. Bush, it's water under the bridge once they decide to say, okay, we stop counting the hanging chads. It's like in 2004 in Ohio, went against John Kerry, and we found that one county where they overloaded. One county is all they need for them to win Ohio to overload. And Ohio went over the Bush, and that was the end of the situation. We stopped talking about it. Here we are in 2024. Once Biden decided not to fight, because he's a sitting president with all the tools in his hands, FBI, everything he needs, CIA, election, some type of election czar, and all this other stuff to make it happen. And he says, well, it's just over with. Well, guess what? When it's all said and done, we start to see the proof of it, that a 34 count felon actually stole the election, I believe. A 34 count felon actually stole the election, I believe. This is the science behind it. Keep going.
Yeah, the heat maps that we just showed you, they call heat maps. They employed to visualize the voter turnout and candidate vote and share the highlighting anomalies and compare analysis. It's basically used as a comparison analysis, and it shows you where the area, what it should look like and what it showed. And in the 2024, it just gave you a example of what's going on. But here's the thing. It takes a long time to come up with these analyses after the election. And the longer that you hold out, you can get these analyses in. But if you concede the election as soon as it's over with without doing the analysis, because you feel that you want to keep the continuity of the country intact, or you don't want to be a what is it, Pastor? A person holding up the election cycle because that's what you want to do. Is you go ahead and
disruptor. You want a peaceful transfer of power. See, watch this. Trump had all of this at his disposal in 2020 because he was the sitting president, right?
Mm-hmm.
With all this at his disposal, his election czar said there was no cheating. His attorney general said there was no cheating. They both resigned, right? And Trump wouldn't even stay for the inauguration. He knew he lost, but he stayed around, and we already did many shows on this. We let him off the hook by the attorney general at the time, Merrick Garland, going from the bottom up to the top down. He come back around, and now when it was time for him to do his cheating that he talked about was going to be, that he thought cheated against him, which he actually really tried, what he did in 2016, he come back with it again. Biden was not prepared for what Trump was doing.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Elon Musk bought Twitter as the face of the situation. But the whole act behind the scene was the election. Let me put it this way. The church is the face of God's kingdom.
Mm-hmm. We
go to church, we're part of a church, we worship the church. I'm giving my analogy of what I know about. But the kingdom of God is the real thing that's going on that the church is the representative of. Well, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, was a representation of what Elon Musk was going to do, but the whole thing behind the scenes was to get Donald Trump elected and Project 2025 put in place. I hope it makes sense what I'm saying.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
I can understand. I hope they can understand. And those same similarities, anomalies that we showed you on the heat map also took place in North Carolina, in Nevada, and those were a couple of the states that they mentioned after they looked at the whole process and they had the time to do an analysis of it. It's a possibility that was out there, but they, like I say, it takes too long for them to come up with these results and these statistics and stuff like that, because you have to go into the precincts. Most of them to validate, and you have to go in and get actual election boxes and stuff like that, and then go in and look at it.
Sometimes judges have to write off on that.
Yeah. So it's so many things that these guys had to go through to get this election. And the real reason why I'm just kind of going through this real fast, because our time was cut short by the problems that we was having initially. We're live on YouTube. We're live on I can see us live on Instagram. So if you're out there and you want to call in versus listening in, and you can hear us, just call in 832-856-5964. I want to get through this process so we can. I think that we done made our points on that. But with everything, Pastor, I think we need to focus on this. It takes too long to prove an election that something was wrong with it, and by the time you prove it, the person's already in office, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that's I see we live because we got D out there. She's making comments, so we out there. D, I hope we're making sense because I know that this is a little convoluted show tonight. It's got a lot of different stuff coming on, but we're gonna try to pull. But it takes too long to prove the process of the election results, and by the time you get it proved, the other party is trying to force you into conceding based on what they seeing out there, and they doing the electoral votes, and the electoral voters have to, based on what they're seeing, they also have to make a decision. So if they showing this person ahead, and they may not be ahead based on the actual count of the vote, they just going with everything that comes up in the initial beginning, and so by the time it's over with, you got to concede, and that's what she was forced to do. And Pastor Riggins named another time in history where that took place too.
Yeah, George W. Bush and Al Gore.
Yeah.
Once the Florida Supreme Court decided in George W. Bush's favor and stopped the recount, and lost Florida, Al Gore lost Florida. But the sad thing about that was that, just the backstory there, Al Gore did not want to campaign with Bill Clinton based on the moral issues Bill Clinton had. That was not a savvy political move. See, that's why I tell you, politicians usually don't, and morals don't really mix a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Based on that, Al Gore did he not even win his own state, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
If he'd won Tennessee, Florida wouldn't matter.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the number down.
I know I'm not way off track, but so in this case, North Carolina, Nevada, I think Arizona was one of them too.
Mm-hmm.
States belonged to Biden originally, and lo and behold, Kamala Harris was not able to hold them because they stripped away the votes.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead,
yeah, one of the expertise that did this study, his election investigation approach, Nathan Taylor's expertise in cybersecurity and network monitoring provides technical foundation for the analysis, enhancing the credibility. This guy had a lot of qualifications behind him. He was also an ex-military guy, and he said, something just didn't make sense. And so he went out there. They went out there and they started investigating what was going on. And when they investigated, they found out that there was some irregularities in it. So they tried to present it as best they possibly could. And what was the statistical methods used for the ETA to use to analyze U.S.? Well, the ETA statistical methods from the international election fraud experts. They brought in international election fraud experts in countries like Kenya, Bolivia to analyze the U.S. elections. You have to have a comparison to go from. So they were using those other countries as comparisons. They knew it was fraud in those countries. Russia, Kenya, Bolivia, they knew it was fraud in there. How they identify suspicious patterns, voting patterns. Heat maps plot voter turnout against candidate voter share, normalizing the precinct size and population destination, which controls for the demographic voting patterns and allows for a clear identification of precincts and usually voter behavior. What it's basically saying is that if you go out and vote, you create a pattern. And once you create that pattern by the voters that's going out and the voters that did voted, even mail-in votes and all the rest of that, they have to take into account everything that happens within that election, within that voting cycle where they were voting. And then they put it they build a chart, and then they draw all of the analysis, and they show it on that heat map. And that heat map in the hot areas where it showed where most voters were voting. Now, I don't know if most people can keep up with it. Pastor, am I making sense, or I'm
Yeah,
just
well,
leaving.
well, to keep going back to the heat map is where you might be going in the weeds a little bit. Basically, in short, this guy studied computer systems. Elon Musk is part of that cyber truck, cyber this, cyber that. So this guy was able to study the cyber action, if you want to use that word. But what happened in the voting tallies, in the voting machines, and found out there's a lot of irregularities, which means something was off. And what we know is off is we know that a lot of votes were purged. And I guarantee they'll purge 2-1 or 3-1 against Kamala Harris. Even so that less people voted overall nationwide in 2024 to 2020. And by subtracting and dividing is how Donald Trump, MAGA, and Republicans win now. By subtracting and dividing, the smaller we can make the crowd, the smaller we can make things happen, the smaller people in the room, the less people in the room, the less people get involved, then they have more power. And that's what happened in this voting process.
Absolutely. And there were differences also in hand counted vote and machine counted precincts in Minnesota. That's another state. You know, it's so much stuff that's going on during the election process that you have to take into account when you're doing these, when you're trying to do these tabulations for the votes and the machines, hand counted ones, mail-in votes. And that discrepancy shows you that everything is not above board. And we as normal citizens, we don't see this. And the only time that you get this is after the election. But they can't do all this tabulations right after the election. And another thing that Pastor, and this is going to go back to what you were saying. This is going to go back to exactly what you were saying before the vote. They say if the machines were set up, were tampered with before the election took place, it's nothing that you could do. Because it's going to count between a certain percentage, and once it goes above that percentage, they already got a program that's built into the machine that's going to kick back different results. But if it's put in before the election cycle, where those computers, those machines that count the votes, it's a strong possibility that none of the election was done right. And it points back to who's the only person that could have did that, had their hands in the pie?
Elon Musk.
And they also, one of the things that he pointed out, he said it had to be somebody that knew technology and had the, what's the word, Pastor? They have to have the ability to go in and change it ahead of time and knew exactly what they was doing, when they was doing it, and how to do it. And they can manipulate the vote and manipulate the outcome based on changing the algorithm of the machine, interference, running certain type interference, making it look like based on the numbers. If the numbers, say like if it was, Pastor pointed this out not too long ago. The Democrats won the county, Democrats won the city, Democrats won the state. And then you turn around when it comes to Kamala Harris, she might have had maybe 10% of the vote in that city. Well, you can create that anomaly by using the machines to do it. Pastor, I know I'm in the weeds now, probably. I see you sitting back. So anyway, we're gonna go back to us stage. So we could, but
well, right. We driving on the point that we believe the election was stolen.
Yeah, I'm driving it home because it's a possibility based on the technology.
To improve by showing the research and showing the possibilities. It's not just two guys up here in their 50s or 60s hollering the election was stolen. You're trying to show them how this can happen because we're voting through cyber vote.
And anything where there's a computer, if you go out there and you Google it, hell, if you go out there and Google ChatGPT right now and ask them who's going to win in 2028, they're already saying that J.D. Vance going to win by a landslide. I mean, and the few Democrats that they naming, it ain't the ones that's in the House or the Senate that's the head of the Senate or the House that's gonna run. And I'm waiting, Pastor. I'm truly waiting on I want to see what time it is. But I'm truly waiting to find out if the Democrats gonna hold steady.
I think they are. The Senate vote failed about 2 hours ago.
I hope it continues to fail, and it at least gives you, Pastor. Does it give you some type of hope? Or I know that you had the opposition to it earlier, but
no, I'm concerned about the outcome of. See, you're dealing with a. For instance, you know, if somebody hold people hostage and ask for all the demands, and you decide to give them demands, and they still end up, taking everybody out. This is what Trump is trying to do. He said, "Okay, all right, y'all gonna stand on y'all principle and don't want Medicaid or whatever Medicaid to be cut, and y'all don't want to take away health insurance with other people. All right, I see you shut down the government. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fire all these government workers, and I'm gonna take away something else. I'm gonna defund child infant programs and food stamp and all this other stuff. Now, what you gonna do? Because you're dealing with a guy that's deranged. You're dealing with a guy that's evil. You're dealing with a guy that doesn't need anything from anybody. He don't care about anybody. That's what I'm concerned about. That is, you in the catch-22. If you do it one way, you lose. If you do it another way, you lose. But what you're hoping, and what others are hoping, is that it comes out that bad, and it motivates people in 2026 to say, we got to take over the House and the Senate and put these bums out of here. That's what you hope. That the sacrifice that's made will cause people to make a change.
The only way that change takes place is that you have to make a sacrifice. The only way that you can move forward, and you hear us talking about this all the time on this program. The only way that you move forward is that somebody's going to have to lose at some point in time. And what you hope is that they stand strong and well, I'm gonna say it like this: based on not the last vote, the previous vote that they took in the House, you want them to at least show a backbone in what they're actually trying to put forward. And if they can, I think if they can hold this out, because there's so much that's pending on this. I mean, think about it, Pastor. This is people's health that's on the line. I mean, healthcare that's on the line. I mean, those dollars that made up the difference in people having healthcare and the Obamacare and all the rest. They call it Obamacare, but it's affordable health care. When that made up those dollars so people can afford it, so they can have it, decent insurance, that is a part of what they're holding out for right now. That is a part of what they're holding out for. That's the major part of it, because if you take that away, if you let that go, because it's scheduled to expire already, it's got an expiration date that's soon. I think it's before the elections come up. And it's real soon, but they trying to save that. And if they standing on that alone, Pastor, that's enough for me. That's enough for me to say.
What about the thousands of federal workers that lose their jobs and won't ever get them again? What about if Congress can't stop him from not funding the welfare programs, the children, that need help and all that stuff?
CHIP,
like
the CHIP
spiteful, CHIPS, he's being spiteful.
Yeah. Just being spiteful. And as we go through this, I'm gonna say this, and I want y'all to understand. That's the decisions that when you put somebody in Congress, that's the decisions that you want your elected officials to make. When we get on Haywood Jeffries a lot, and I know that Sean comes on and tell us all the time, you hard on the Democrats. You're hard on the Democrats. Yes, we're hard on the Democrats, but that's the kind of decisions that you expect them to make based on the representation that we send out. So I just want to tell you that it's important. This is so important that we jump when he's wrong, we call him out. When he's doing something right, we call him out. But this is the first time I see him and Mike Schumer on the same page. And I had that video, but I don't.
Charles Schumer.
Charles Schumer. Y'all know I get names wrong. And that's the reason why I got Pastor Riggins and Byron Glass on the show to correct it. But Charles Schumer, they stood out in front of the White House, even though they came out first, and they was sticking together. And then I saw after then, I saw a bunch of Democrats on the steps. Now then you know me. You know who I was looking for up there, and I didn't see either one of them up there. So maybe they wasn't in state or they was somewhere else. But it was a bunch of Democrats that came out on the steps and stood behind Haywood Jeffries when he made his announcement.
Akeem Jeffries.
Akeem Jeffries. I'm sorry. I apologize. Charge it to the head, not the heart. Akeem Jeffries.
Yes, sir.
And that just goes to show you with everything that I got on, I'm looking at Pastor Riggins and I'm trying to get my thoughts together and I'm throwing out different names. But Akeem, he came out and he had part of the Democratic Party out there. But the two people I was looking for in the background, I never seen them show up, was Jasmine Crockett and Al Green. I didn't see them show up on the
step. They might be at home.
And that's what I was saying. You know, it's a possibility that they was at home and they wasn't in Washington at the time. It's so much because I seen a lot of people come out a little bit later. So this must have been an impromptu thing.
It was, because Trump at first didn't want to meet with him on the weekend.
Yeah, so
he refused to meet with him, and then decided to meet with him at the last minute, only to say no, because he's like a mobster.
But you know what I didn't like about that, Pastor?
Huh?
I'm gonna tell y'all the reason why I think, and Pastor, I could be wrong, but I'm gonna tell you the reason why I think they got Trump on this one because they got him over the barrel, so to speak. See, Trump he don't run away from no press, no chance to get in the press. But this particular time, he didn't come out of the White House and jump right into the media after they got on to try to clear this up. He sent J.D. Vance out there and the Senate Republican and the Senate House member. He sent Mike Johnson and I can't think of the Senate member, the Senate president, or what do they call him? Senate House leader.
No, the Senate, the majority leader.
Majority leader. He sent them out there, and they jumped in and they was and they was explaining it. And that's when I said, wait a minute, something wrong. Something is definitely wrong here, because he don't miss opportunity. And I know he was just on the other side of that door that they just walked out because they was in his office when they was making the announcement. So Pastor, maybe I got that wrong. Maybe you can.
I think he knows that the government shutdown is going to be some bad blowback. Mm-hmm. He don't want to be on record saying anything about it. He wants to say, my people say it.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say it like Karen Hunter says it, you got the House, you got the Senate, you got the presidency. Why are you mad? Mm-hmm. What you mad about? I mean, go ahead and take your medicine like everybody else. Go ahead and handle up. If it's on your watch, you the one that's got to deal with it, not us. Only thing we doing is sitting back waiting for these 4 years to be over with. We saying our prayers. It ain't nothing that we can do. We're just gonna watch you go through your actions and your motions, and hopefully in the midterm and in the midterm elections, we should be turning out. Am I right?
Yes, sir. We got to overpower the voting misintegrity and all that stuff. Got to overpower. Enough people vote, it won't matter.
Everybody has to turn out. We need a large turnout because there was 90 million people that didn't turn out last time. I heard Karen Hunter say that. 90 million people that didn't turn out in the last election. We got to get them, and then plus there's new voters coming into the election cycle that's out there. So I just want to say we're not going to stay on here long tonight. I see Pastor had a full day at work. I could tell.
Yes, sir.
But we're trying to get this word out, and we don't get paid out here. Yeah. I don't have a paycheck, Pastor, because if we had a paycheck, Pastor be sitting up and he ready to go. But when you make a mistake, and mistakes happen, as we continue to try to put out this, I want to tell Pastor, thank you for sticking with me. I know that
the night was crazy, man. We came on at 7:30, everything went haywire.
I tried to, it was right at the time. Me and Pastor was sitting in the back room in what we call the back room before we get on the air talking. And I it never did go live. So we were sitting there just lost. So I'm gonna say this. It might have been Elon Musk, you think? I had to say that. Hey, I appreciate y'all listening in. We're gonna cut this one short tonight. And I hope that I didn't lose you in the process. And first, let me do this because I took it off the air, Pastor. Before we go, The number's 832-856-5964. If you want to call in, please call in.
He's calling in the next 5 minutes, or we're gonna be
we're gonna be out of here. We're gonna be out of here. And next week, Elon Musk ain't gonna get an opportunity to come on the show.
Because next week we're probably talking about the shutdown if it was a shutdown. But next week I might not be here. Next week on that Tuesday is gonna be my birthday, brother.
Oh, birthday boy.
Yeah, next week the 7th.
Birthday boy.
Yes, sir.
What you gonna do on your birthday, Pastor?
I don't know yet, man. I don't know yet. Okay.
Something special that you got planned or whatever, but I know you're gonna be sharp on it. There ain't no doubt in my mind. Probably have on matching shoes, matching tie, matching shirt, everything. Just one color all the way down.
There you go.
That's my pastor. My pastor is special. But anyway, Byron Glass, evidently he called me in the background. I guess since we was having so many problems, he wasn't able to get into the show. I did send him the links. Hopefully I'm gonna stay on like I normally do, an hour ahead of time, so this doesn't happen next time. But I did the best I could. I couldn't control what happened tonight, but I enjoyed the show.
We tried. Yes, sir, we tried.
We tried to put it together. But whatever you do, if they shut down the country, realize that it's working in your favor. Some things are working in our favor, some things are not. We have to be prepared for the results of the turnout.
My $1 million question is, what does Kamala Harris do now?
Pastor, I'm glad you brought that up. Because I'm going to go back and I'm going to find those tapes. Somewhere, somehow, I'm going to find those tapes. And I said this, and I'm going to say it tonight again. I said that if she can't go back to the Senate, if she can't run for governor, if she can't do anything else, she was going to write a book. And sure enough, I didn't have to have ESP, but I knew to get a payday. Pastor, one last thing before we go. This was something I seen earlier today. I'm going to tell you where I got it from, Roland Martin. The Palestinians are going out protesting on Obama and Michelle Obama. Obama and Kamala Harris. She had a book signing not too long ago. And the Palestinian people showed up and they was protesting. I mean, it was a lot of them. But what Roland Martin was saying, how come y'all don't show up when Trump is out there doing the same thing? How come y'all don't show up when J.D. Vance is out there, when somebody else is out there? And the point that he was making is that neither one of these people can make a difference in what's going on in politics right now. The only thing they can do is add their advice or talk to you like me and Pastor Riggins is doing right now. But why are y'all just protesting at those events?
They believe that as people of color, like they are people of color, that Obama, when he was there for 8 years, Kamala was there for 4 years, and especially when Kamala was there and this thing that happened with Hamas and all that, they believe that they should have taken a more radical stand to have a Palestinian state, to protect the Palestinians, the United States, against what they call Israel, where when you're an American politician, because the United States is the one that established Israel along with Great Britain, you got to walk that fine line of saying this is what Israel is doing wrong, but Israel is still our ally.
Mm-hmm.
And the Palestinians not hearing that, especially after what Israel is doing now. And then how you, that's the word I can't pronounce. You can't pronounce integrity. I can't pronounce his name. Mm-hmm. He's up for criminal charges. He's using all this stuff to stay out of being criminally charged. Trump, a felon himself, is in bed with him, doing what he want to do with him. And, when I mean that, figuratively, not literally, he's, going along with whatever he wants to do and making all this crazy stuff about he want to put together a Palestinian government that he's going to be the head of. How can Trump be the head of a Palestinian government? I know he got that speech yesterday. He was out there and came out there and I knew. Said we're going to put together a Palestinian, some type of board.
Mm-hmm.
Put a Palestinian place, and Trump be the leader of it. That's colonization.
Yeah.
That's colonization. Let them pick their own leader. Let him be vetted. He can't be a terrorist. Let him be vetted, but let them pick their own leader. They don't need racist, American, fascist, senile criminal to run their board to have Palestinian state.
You know what, Pastor? That's absolutely right. Now,
What I said was called free speech.
yeah. And without going into another show, I just want to share that information. And believe it or not, we got more people calling, more people listening in right now. And I know we said we weren't gonna be on here that long, so we're gonna
Hey, but they're there. Come on in, call in, keep us on.
I'm looking at it, Pastor.
Make some comments. Call in,
and we get more numbers now as we just going off the air as we had when we was on the air.
We got traction now. It's about the same amount of time we'll be on. We start at 7:30. About an hour or so into the show, you get the traction.
Yeah, so that's exactly what's going on. And so, Pastor, with everything that's going on in the world today, I want you to kind of address this because you said it earlier, and I need people to understand when Mike Schumer, did I get it right?
Charles Schumer.
Chuck Schumer.
That's his nickname. Yeah, Chuck.
Yeah, Chuck Schumer. They call Charles Chuck sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries was standing on that porch, and they was in agreement, and it was together standing there. They was telling the American people that they're gonna stand through this. Pastor, you say one thing. I want to make sure that we understand that we have a clear understanding of what they were doing and how they was going about it. That it's going to be a cost to them standing together.
Yes, sir.
And if you could explain that one last time, and then we're going to get out of here.
Okay.
And just say a prayer after.
The government shuts down. Trump and his administration have said that when these government employees go on a furlough, they're just going to dismiss them, either fire or lay them off. And that way he says he's going to save the country money. But what he's doing is weeding out as many people he can from state government. Because remember, he's trying to get less people to run the government so he can try to get control of the government to be a dictator. And put money back into where we want to put money into, but not for what it's supposed to be used for. Mm-hmm. Second thing he says, they will defund all the federal assistance like CHIPS program, the food stamps, things like that, because they believe that people of color predominantly, even though literally people of color percentage-wise are on it, but the actual numbers is more Anglo-Americans who need more assistance because people of color don't make up most of the country. The country still is about 60% Anglo-American, about 14% African-American, and then the rest of it is Hispanic Americans, which are gradually catching up to be about 40% eventually. Okay? So about down Anglo-American to be down about 48%. I'm just getting it right. But predominantly, they're the ones mostly on this. But Trump don't see it that way. He sees one thing: these poor people of color that are leeches on the government, is how he's gonna put it in his mind. We'll get rid of all their programs, defund it. So there's gonna be a cost to be paid if the government shuts down. What we're hoping that because that cost hurts so bad, that when 2026 election come out, we say sweep all Republicans out that we can. Because they're standing with this MAGA. They're standing with this MAGA.
Mm-hmm. Pastor, D, I'm sorry. We didn't get you. We're gonna go through them real quick. Positively You. That's not D. That's Positively You, unincorporated. I just want to let y'all know.
Yeah, tomorrow, right? If they shut tonight, what happens? The vote doesn't go through tonight. Starting tomorrow, the government is shut down.
Okay,
this is the last night they can vote on it. Starting tomorrow morning, the government shut down.
Positively You, we appreciate you. You're right. We have to take a stand. And if you're out there, I'm sorry I didn't see it because we had so many and then Pastor changed his little get up over there, and I didn't put my messages up to come on the screen. So we're gonna cover this and then we're gonna go out. Michael Johnson sent the Republicans home.
He sent them home but see, the Senate didn't pass anyway.
Yeah,
the Senate version didn't pass anyway. So, right, if the Senate version would have passed, he sent the Congress home so they couldn't have a quorum. He sent the House home so they wouldn't have a quorum. In other words, they decided, okay, if they want to shut down, we're going to let them shut down.
Absolutely. Positively, you was active tonight. Before we get out here, we're gonna cover all of this. 90 million did not vote. That was correct.
But this is what I'm saying, Positive You. I believe that more than that, let's put it this way. I believe maybe 40 million didn't vote and 50 million votes were shaved. See, this is what we're trying to say. The narrative is these people didn't vote. What I'm saying, the truth is, and that's what Ron was trying to show us in these heat-seeking maps and all this other kind of stuff. People did vote it, but they're saying they didn't vote because their vote was never counted.
And they manipulated the vote behind it.
Right. But I don't believe it's 90 million didn't vote. All you needed across the board was about 20 to 30 more million people swing the other way, and Kamala Harris was going to win the election.
And just think about this, Pastor, and the way the election process is set up. As I said it earlier, I caught myself, but somebody has to, at the end of it, they put so much pressure on the president that may have lost to just concede the election at the end of it because they want to kind of keep in spirit of what the country has done in the past.
Right.
And that's the problem. And we're gonna get through. We're going through Positively Used things, and then we got one more from Positively D. But that's the reason why you can't get a fair and a fair election, because the election, what electoral vote has to come right after the outcome of the the electoral vote is taking place at the same time. It's the
electoral vote counted to go over on January the 6th to be certified.
Mm-hmm.
So you got from the day after the election to January the 6th to get it right. And that's when you should fight. Yeah. Trump, he tried to, during that time, he didn't want to concede, never conceded. He never did really fight, but then on January the 6th, he tried to fight illegally.
Mm-hmm.
But the legal way to fight is to contest the election all the way up until January 6th. And then you might come out with different results.
Hey, Positively You, we're going to get you on the show. We're going to have to get you on the show because you come up with some good points. Kamala Harris' book, 107 Days.
Yes.
Yeah, so D, my Positively D is right here. She said, that's a shame. It is a shame. It's a shame the way everything is going right now. We better get prepared for it. And as Pastor said, it's so much going on right now that we have to be prepared for what's coming. And if you think that it gets worse, it's bad now. If this country shut down, it's giving him some powers that he really shouldn't have had in the first place. So he's gonna be able to tell what gets funded and what doesn't. And we might as well get ready for that part, Pastor. Now I don't know if you want to add to that. If not,
no, that's what I'm concerned about. He's gonna try to go into the executive, making all executive orders, and then we got to fight our way through the Supreme Court on a lot of this stuff.
And we that's what I'm all for the shutdown, but as Pastor Riggins is saying, he's cautious about what's going to happen. He's cautious because this man has so much power and so many things that he can stop people, that he can fire and take them out like it wasn't nothing. So we got to stay strong. Just like when I come on here and talk about what Hakeem Jeffries is not doing and holding him accountable, we got to stay strong when he makes a decision to do something different. And it's going to hurt. Nothing's easy.
Yeah. See, because let me tell you, 3 branches of government. The legislatures, which is Congress, House of Representatives, and the Senate makes the laws. The judicial, which is the courts, interprets the laws. The executive, execute, to carry out. The executive government, part of the government, the president and everything around them, they carry out. So whenever something breaks down, Trump then takes that power. Even before it breaks down, he tries to abuse his power carrying out stuff. And this was really happening. He's now taking it to the 10th degree, or the 1,000th degree, if you want to call it, which he wants to be a dictator. Mm-hmm. And he's slowly but surely setting stuff up for it. All these different cities where he's going into and trying to with martial law and National Guards, and now with a shut down government, He runs it just like on Hunger Games. You ever watch the Hunger Games?
Mm-hmm.
That President Snow on the Hunger Games, back that
Yeah.
trilogy of movies with all the different districts, and they taking people from the districts to go out and fight and stuff. Now we're not doing that part, the fighting part, but the way they were running that whole country is how Trump wants to run the country. Dear leader Trump, what shall we do next, sir? That's how he wants to run.
And one last thing before we get off the air, and this was covered also. I heard somebody say that he's setting the country up for your favorite thing. He's setting the country up by deploying these troops to different cities. He's setting the country up for midterm elections to possibly, what is it called, Pastor?
Right.
Civil unrest, civil law, or
martial law.
Martial law.
Yeah, getting called civil unrest and all of it. Big old confusion and people fussing and fighting, and we can't figure out who won the Congress and all that kind of stuff. That's what he wants to do. Disrupt the whole election process.
And he already has some deployed in some areas of the.
Yeah, honestly, they're even running ads in Houston now. Because see, remember now, by Abbott being the governor of Texas, he doesn't want to come in on full blast and take over. But he putting out the ads. Houston law enforcement, we thank you for protecting your community, making it safe, but we will not tolerate sanctuary cities, calling Houston a sanctuary city. Do you want to be part of us? Join the ICE. $50,000 loan forgiveness, blah, 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 and all this stuff. Join ICE. Leave Harris County, leave HPD, leave the constables, all that stuff. Join ICE. And we're going to rid your city of illegal immigrants. That's a commercial running right now.
Oh, yeah, I heard it out there.
Why you go over into other cities, though, and do the crackdowns?
Absolutely. And I think it's been running for a while. Well, Pastor, we've been on here longer than what we normally do because of the technical difficulties. I think we put out a lot of information. And as always, as we always tell you, go out and do your own research. We're putting it out here. And if we hear it, even if we hear it on Roland Martin or Urban View or anywhere else, you may not have heard the same news that we did. And we want to make sure that you go out there and you research it. Because come the midterms, we don't have time for mistakes. We need to have all this stuff behind us, and we need to be moving forward and voting. Just get out and vote. And Pastor, with that being said, I'm gonna end mine right there. When you get back on, only thing I want to say is thank God, thank God, thank God, and we're gonna end the show. I got a button up there that say end live stream. So when you get through saying what you want,
listen. No matter what's happening, no matter what Trump's trying to do, no matter if the government shuts down or stays afloat, God is still in control. God's still in control. The Bible says, Jesus said to the disciples, let's go over to the other side. And he got in the boat even as he was, which means he was tired and went to sleep in the bottom of the boat. And a storm rose. This is Mark the 4th chapter, verses 35, 39. Storm rose. Where the boat was about to sink. Disciples did all they could. They were avid fishermen and everything. And Jesus sleeping in the bottom of the boat like he really didn't care. Let me tell you what, right now, it looks like God doesn't really care about America. It looks like God doesn't really care about your situation, our situation, what we're going through. But he's still in charge. They woke him up. Master, do you care that we perish? They look at them, oh, you have little faith. Wow, you doubting. Didn't I say, is what he was saying, we're going to the other side. Then he looked to the wind and the wave. Peace, be still. He told the wind to be peace, stop. He told the wave, be still. At some point, God's going to tell America, peace, be still. He's going to put a stop to all the confusion that's going on, and then he's going to still the waters.
Come on, Pastor. Right. Come on, Pastor. That was a reality.
We're praying right now that no matter what you're going through, how you're facing, that we're thanking God that we still are here. We still got breath in our bodies. We still got life within us, and we still got a chance to get involved to impact our community, our city, and our world. Father, we leave this platform and not your presence. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Pastor. And as I said and I alluded to, the only thing I'm gonna say is thank God, thank God, thank God. We just got to keep on praying and never give up, because God is a change maker at all times. So I want to say good night, Pastor Riggins. Thank you for bearing with me, and for everybody else that was out there that bear with us through this program, because we shut down, we set up, we shut down, we shut down, we set up, and we finally got it on. So I'm gonna say good night. Thank you. Next week it won't be like this. I hope. I pray. Y'all
Okay.
take. Bye bye.
All right. Good night.